Are you listening? Are you paying attention? What are you paying attention to? What are you listening to? What are you tuning into? What's programming your thoughts? What are you listening to? What's influencing your thoughts? If you're outdoors, can you hear the birds? Can you hear the traffic in the distance? Can you hear the wind through the leaves? Or maybe you're indoors. What are you paying attention to? Is it the television? Or maybe you're listening to the news. Or, as they would say, fake news. Can you hear what they're really saying to you? Most of all, amongst all of the noise, can you hear the silence? Can you hear yourself breathe? If you're listening to someone else, can you really hear what their words are saying to you? What are they really trying to communicate to you? Can you hear the choice of words they have chosen? Are you listening to them? Can you hear what they're saying to you? Can you interpret the message? Can you feel the word? Or maybe, can you hear the emotion behind the word? Are you listening? I mean, are you really listening? Most of us are waiting to respond, anticipating with an answer. But did you actually understand what that person was saying to you? Did you connect with the words, the emotion, the passion? Do you understand what they really say? But most important, are you listening to yourself? What is your body saying to you? Can you quieten the noise that's happening externally? You can focus and get in tune with what your body is saying to you. Your body is constantly sending messages, communicating, responding to negative or positive experiences. But the question is, are you paying attention to that? Are you paying attention to how you breathe? Let me ask you a question for a second. Is that air that you're breathing right now? Self-realization is fully listening to what your body, well, your mind, body, and soul is saying to you, it's like a moment of clarity, you know? So when you look back on an experience, you can question yourself and say, how did I feel? Was I tense or relaxed? Listening to your body is listening to your higher self. Your organs, your chakras, they allow us to connect with ourselves and recognize our strengths, weaknesses, which help us to make better choices, calculated risks, decisions that are focused on our well-being. See, there is an art to listening. It is vital to knowing who you are. If you're intolerant to a certain food and you happen to consume that food, it is guaranteed going to give you a negative experience. So in that instance, ignoring your body, your stomach, the signals that it sends to you, could be a toxic situation. High toxicity levels are cancerous to relationships, making choices, just having clarity in your own self. Self-doubt is listening to external forces without paying attention to yourself, your higher self. Self-doubt is listening to external forces without paying attention to your heart, mind, body, and soul. They say that when you pray, you are speaking to God or your higher self. When you meditate, you are listening to God or your higher self. Listening is a powerful tool. It allows us to connect, to discover, to define ourselves through our strengths and weaknesses. Listening allows us to have more room, space for imagination to flourish, to come up with more solutions. Listening helps you to explore different places, to be more creative. Listening or paying attention to your higher self or your needs allows us, guides us into making the right choices that are focused on our well-being. Taking calculated risks, for instance. So before making a choice or a decision, listen to what your heart is truly saying to you. Listen to your mind, body, and soul to fully understand how you feel, so you can make a calculated choice, risk, and take the decision focused on your well-being. It might save time and energy. How do you feel? Are you listening? Are you paying attention? There is an art to listening, whether it's listening to what someone has said, listening to the silence, or listening to yourself? How do you really feel? There is an art to listening. There is an art to listening. Whether it's listening to what someone has said to you, listening to the media, listening to yourself, listening to the silence. It helps to connect with your true self. For example, a negative experience is not something you want to go through again. But when you ignore what your body is saying to you, you're creating a toxic environment for your organs. And compared to a positive experience where you might want to repeat that again, when you listen to your body might respond in a positive way. And you're more likely to repeat that. Whereas in a negative experience, you probably would want to avoid that. I find most of us are ignoring our true self. Some of us go to work or have jobs that, when I listen to what people say, they tell me they do not like their job or where they work. And you listen to what they're really saying, you can really hear what they're going through. So it's about understanding your true self. What makes you tick or not? That is going to guide you through the positive or the negative experiences. Making a decision that is focused on your well-being. Understanding your strengths and your weaknesses. Your strengths will guide you. Your weaknesses will guide you. You will know where you need to focus more attention into. Listening to yourself, your body, how you breathe. There's a skill to listening. And it starts by understanding your true self. Understanding how you feel. Who you really are. Are you listening? What are you paying attention to? Who are you?